Bro, you ain't talking. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, bro? Cause you're not talking. You oh maybe you're not talking because you wasn't. You there, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is me making a straight face, bro, because like interject your shots early, so I gotta be ready. I'm always on guard with you, bro.
It's a good day. I have no shots. No shots today that I know of. But it seems like a
Right.
good day. So
Yeah, they're unsuspecting. That's how they always come. They
I
always
mean,
just kind of sneak
even
up on you.
me, I don't even know they coming, dog. I don't even see him coming.
Sheesh.
Hey, but I see this coming. I mean, it can stay in the 30s. I'm good with it. 20s, 30s. I'm good with it. It
I
just
mean, when you got that natural insulation, bro, it's cool. I get it. But for
no.
me, I
I
just
just real men come from the north, so we can deal.
oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That sums it all up. Let's get to
We
it.
can deal with the cold.
I'm saying these names not because they're essentially the best fighters out there, which we can make a case for Shakur Stevenson definitely. Um, they just look that much better than whoever they fight.
I think you might want to keep this thing on the feet and stay any way possible. Stay away from that guillotine choke. he was
Yeah,
squeezing Buddy's face in the last fight and
yeah.
put him out.
Come on, dog. Let's fight.
Welcome to the Fighter Share Report. Hey, come on, dog. Let's fight. Boy, look. UFC Vegas 20 recap. Um, should we start off with the main unevent?
I mean, we can start wherever you want, bro.
Because it was very uneventful. Um, again, Rosenstrike, as talented as he is, and he's a very talented fighter, but Gon he froze him. I mean, it just seemed like Rosenstrike was afraid to pull the trigger on anything. He didn't fight his fight. It was I don't know. It was like he was stuck in the warm up. I mean, did you hear anything afterwards? Maybe his hand was hurt or something.
Nah, and listen, since we started off with this, I will just let you know that I was right. I told you about Sarah Gon all week. And listen, we can talk about what Rosenstreak didn't do, but truth of the matter is he had no answer for what it is that Sarah Gon wanted to do. From the
None.
very onset of the fight, it was the jab from the orthodox and the southpaw stance. I don't know if he's got that from Kamaru Usman or maybe that's always been a part of his arsenal. Then he went from the orthodox and southpaw jab to the feints, then the front kicks, then the leg kicks. Bro, Rosenstreak didn't know where anything was coming from. He had no chance except that puncher's chance throughout this entire fight. From the very beginning, this was going to be a long night for him. Fortunately, he doesn't have to worry about fighting Saragon again, at least not in too distant future, because yeah, he's not ready for that type of athleticism.
Yeah, and again, it was just like a longer version of his fight with Ngannou. No answers. No answers. So it was very, to me, that's why I wasn't excited about the card. And you kept saying,
No, the fight that fight was no. The fight was not anything like his fight with Francis Ngannou. That fight was strictly two guys.
again, what I'm saying, it was a different. Obviously, it was different. It went the distance. What I'm saying is, he wasn't in that fight at all. Something about something about Ngannou,
Doubt.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
doubt.
caused
It's just
that
doubt.
doubt to pop
Yeah.
into his head, and it was not the same Rosenstreak we had seen before. Um, Look, so we don't get caught up just on that. Hey, Magomed Ankalev defeated Nikita Krylov. It was a decent fight.
Yeah, that was a decent fight amongst two light heavyweights. That's a wide open division now. So yeah.
Montana De La Rosa. I didn't
And when I say
agree.
wide open division, I'm sorry, bro. When I say wide open division, I mean absent Israel Adesanya.
Yes,
Because of the
yes,
way those guys fight, they could all.
yes.
But anyway, go ahead.
Um, Montana De La Rosa defeated Mayra Buenasilva. Well, it wasn't a defeat; it was a majority draw.
Yeah, and I called it. Neither woman did enough. Both women had their moments in the first round, and in the second round. But in that third round was a complete wash. I called that draw before the judges actually said it because when I watched it, I just really couldn't.
I
They both
thought
had moments,
I
but I
thought
couldn't.
I thought Buena Silva had more moments than De La Rosa. I mean, especially in
It was
rounds
the
one and
fact that
two.
she was getting. It was the fact that she got taken down though, and she
Right,
got kind of held there. Now she was able to. She didn't take any damage, but just the optics. She just had no answer once she got took down. So I think that kind of
but
may
those
have swayed the
knees and
judges a
those
little bit in that fight.
elbows and those punches
Hmm.
and the
Yeah,
cage work, it was just
yeah.
I don't see how she didn't get. But again, I get I see your point. I didn't see it as a draw. Plus, I'm glad she didn't hurt her face. Oh. Um, Pedro Munoz defeated Jimmy Rivera.
She like Elephant Man a little bit. Listen, I had my eyes
Woo!
on this fight, bro. I had my eyes on this fight. Montana, her whole side of her face was swollen. You saw how
Oh yeah,
big her
yeah,
eye was,
Montana.
bro.
Yeah, she wasn't
Yeah,
that pretty
like a
coming in.
cyclops.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was really hyped about the Jimmy Rivera fight, man. It was a good fight. He just didn't have Munoz just better. He just was
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Jimmy fought. It was a good fight. It was a competitive fight, but the right man won. Munoz just better. I didn't see them mix it up again though. They were closely ranked. I didn't see that much of a difference in skill set. I just thought maybe tonight was just Munoz's night. I
Well,
thought Jimmy Rivera would perform a little bit better, but I mean.
and Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres got the
Ah,
unanimous decision over Kevin Kroom,
yeah,
30-26 by two
yeah.
judges and 30-27 by one.
Oh yeah, he won that fight unanimously. And if you watch it, it showed. Bruce Leroy, Miami, stand up, baby.
Miami stand up, whatever. Listen, speaking of Miami, the Canelo recap. Before we do that, we just want to let everybody know that Joseph Parker beat Junior Fa in a unanimous decision over 12 rounds. Because we didn't get a chance to build that into this show. So in the
So
Canelo fight,
talk about Junior Fa and Joseph Parker now because we only going to talk about the Canelo fight unless you want to talk about the heavyweight fight with Zhang and Forrest. That card was not that good.
it
So
wasn't
we
that
can
good.
say,
But I
yeah,
did like the heavyweight fight with Zhang and Forrest. It looked like it
because you
honestly.
like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's why
Yes,
you thought
and
it was
it
good.
looked like
Yeah,
two guys in a bar, and, and they moved the tables back, and they just stumbled
hey,
against the wall and the post and all that
but you
stuff.
but you don't see how bare knuckle gonna survive. Listen,
I
I'm
didn't
right there
say that.
with you,
I
bro.
never said that.
This this says a lot about Zhang, though, bro. Because remember, we had hype. Well, we as the boxing,
Yeah,
as a whole, thought that Zhang was going to be this next big guy coming out of China, right? He was going to be the guy that kind of ushers in the great Eastern hope as far as boxing at a heavyweight level. He just hasn't gotten there. He's had a few good wins. He had a decent run in the Olympics, I think, if we're talking about the same guy.
he's
But
big,
bro, he got bro.
but that's
Listen,
it.
if
He's
this is not
big,
a DAZN card, he loses that fight.
right?
Straight up.
Exactly,
Straight up. So
exactly.
did you see him walking out of the ring? Did you see him walking back to the tunnel?
Yeah,
Bro, he looked like yeah. Forrest might have took a little out of Zane. We'll be interested to see what he looked like when he bounced back.
he
I'm curious.
and Forrest. I mean, Forrest showed a lot of heart in that man
Man.
because he just kept wearing on him and wearing on him, and they realized Zhang wasn't all that Zhang was cracked up to be.
I
All they
mean,
could say at the end of the
look,
fight was, "Oh, it's Zhang."
well, look, man, Forrest is a fighter, bro. Like
Yeah,
this, guys wake up and fight. That's
yeah.
it. So I'm not surprised by anything he did. There's another guy out there, another heavyweight, that's a hell of a gatekeeper, man. I watched him fight a year ago. I can't remember his name. We talked about him on the show. Oh man. Oh man. It ain't Mansoor, but it's another guy that's out there, man. Listen, I done seen him fight like 2 or 3 times, bro. He brain. You got to put him down. Like he one of them old, he one of them heavyweights. You got to really just,
Yeah.
take care of business with him. But yeah, so Forrest is one of those guys, man. I don't buy Zhang. I don't think he's the goods. This fight, I think, took a lot of him. They got to match him very carefully going forward. But I don't think we ever really see him against the likes of any of these guys that are really making noise in that division.
And real quick before we jump into the Canelo fight, just an update because we mentioned it. Daniel Scardina defeated excuse me, Cesar Munoz. Now, that was on the 26th. That was Friday night. Now, Canelo, there was really nothing to talk about after that fight, bro. I mean, the guy, his corner, called it on the stool at the end of the third. Excuse me, at the end of the third round. So there really wasn't much to it. I mean, Canelo doesn't gain anything after this. And you know, the Turkish, what do they call him? Turkish, not bull, wolf. The Turkish wolf didn't lose anything after this. I mean, he was the number one contender, but he didn't show up to fight. It's like he showed up to defend, and you can't do that against Canelo, because if you guard your ribs, he'll pick you apart up top. If you guard your face, he'll pick you apart in the ribs and the liver. So, and it wasn't even a workout, man.
I mean, by the way, I don't think Zhang beats either Junior Fowl or Joseph Parker, just to put a button on that heavyweight discussion.
No. He doesn't even
listen, we gained a lot from this fight. You know, we gained a real fight in May. Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah. He got a mandatory out of the way, which is what he had to do. Nobody was buying Iljum as really being a threat. Although I would say if I had a couple niggas work together, I definitely would throw him on Iljum just because it could have changed my life. But what we saw is what we expected. Canelo's the best fighter in the world. This guy didn't have an answer. He got knocked down 3 times. Bro, this fight was over before it got started. The corner did him a favor by stopping the fight. It wouldn't have mattered. Once he got in there and saw what was going on, it was going to be a long night for him. Why not make it short? We don't get paid for overtime. Let's get this Eddie Hearn money and go home. And that's what they did.
And that's exactly what they did.
So I'm waiting to see where the next Canelo fight is going to be. Then they bring him back to Miami?
Yeah. Because they did well. It did turn out to be a smorgasbord of fights, Miss Samantha. And good morning to you, too. That's what I was thinking, actually, during the fight. They do bring him back to Miami. Again, no matter where Canelo goes in the South or in California, he's going to sell out. As many tickets as you can put up, he's going to sell out. But I think it was a good showing for him. I mean, even with the concert at the beginning. All right, what a finish on PBC on Fox, baby. What a finish with Anthony DArrell versus Tyrone Davis. Go ahead.
It was not a finish.
Go ahead.
I'm here to rain on this parade because you didn't want me to say this, but I all but said it last week when we were talking about this. We said we learned more about who in this fight. We learned more about Tyrone Davis than we would about Anthony DArrell. And what we learned in this fight, we learned more about Tyrone Davis than we did about Anthony DArrell, because Anthony DArrell, you heard it here first, he's done. He fought a kid that came up basically 2 weight classes. And I'm saying that a little tongue-in-cheek because Tyrone was at 154. He moved to 60. I don't know how many fights he had at 60. We talked about this earlier in the week. He went to 68. That's not his weight class. This was his first fight at this weight class. They brought this kid in as an opponent.
Yeah.
He is a PBC fighter, and he was brought in as an opponent. You could tell by the commentary.
Yeah.
And I was glad the judges got this right, because the commentary for PBC didn't do the brand any favors by trying to convince the people that Anthony DArrell is winning this fight. And I'm glad the judges got it right. 115-113, 115-113, and 114-114. This is the kind of scoring you get when you have 2 fighters that are fighting that don't really bring anything to the table. Tyrone Davis has 2 losses. He's a young kid, relatively unknown, with an upside, I guess, now, maybe. And then you got Anthony DArrell. And then you got Anthony DArrell, who you want to do right by because he's been doing right by you, the whole PBC Al Heyman loyalty thing there. But he can't beat any elite guys. He just showed that last night. He has experience and reach over Tyrone Davis and couldn't do anything, bro. It's a sad day for the dog, man. I like Anthony DArrell. He's a friend of the show. He's giving us countless interviews. But with that kind of a performance and with his age, I just don't think he's the same fighter anymore, bro. Not to contend for a belt.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Tyrone Davis. I do believe, Anthony DArrell is not what we saw back in 2015, 2017. Good morning, Audrey Brown. But what I do believe is Tyrone Davis is better than the commentators gave him credit for. Tyrone Davis is, again, we know he's up and coming. This draw, depending on what Anthony DArrell does going forward, this draw can really help Tyrone Davis. Or if Anthony DArrell gets an opportunity at one of the top level competitors, it could hurt Tyrone Davis. But I do believe Tyrone did what he was supposed to do against a bigger guy. He came in, he was able to actually, the draw was good. I was happy with the draw, but I would not have been mad if Tyrone got the victory in that.
Well, the beautiful thing about a draw, bro, is that you can see both sides of it. That's all.
Yeah, and I do see with the commentators, just like in the Broner fight, I do see where the commentators were not giving, well, believe it or not, Joe Goosen did. But the commentators were not giving Tyrone Davis credit for all the punches that he was landing. And, again, he got out of it with a draw. I believe it's a victory for him. I believe you're right. And the dog, Anthony DArrell, it lets us know just where he no longer is.
I think this is dope. I want to see Tyrone Davis make 160 pounds. I think he just took this fight because he wanted to take it. It was an opportunity. I don't think 68 is truly his weight.
No.
He's not a known power puncher anyway, but I think going down to 60 with the right type of dieting and stuff, I think he'd be better served there than he was at 68 because he just doesn't have the power at 68.
And it's funny because
he couldn't hurt Anthony DArrell. So
DArrell told him, and after the weigh-ins, take the check and go back to rapping. So what do we tell DArrell? Hey, your 2 minutes.
So I came prepared today because I was going to talk about the Crimson Tide. Yes, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Not the Tide that we see rolling in here every 2 months to kill all the fish. The college team, the one that's up the road there in Alabama. Bro, did you know that Alabama is the first team since the University of Florida, or the first school since the University of Florida, to win both the SEC football and basketball championships in the same season? No, we didn't know that. You know why? Because nobody cares, because it's a Corona year. So what I really want to talk about since the Combat Sports platform is Triller. You see what Triller did, friend? Have you seen them, bro? You see what they did? Triller won the purse bid for the Teofimo Lopez fight. Mm-hmm. They outbid Bob Arum, they outbid Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and they outbid somebody else. I forgot what the other party was that tried to win the bid. They gave Teofimo Lopez over $6 million. I'm happy for Teofimo, but it's a sad day for me because we saw this day coming, bro. We knew that one day the promoters would have to do something different. Now that time is here. This is a monumental move for boxing. Now here's why. There are enough outlets out there now to where fighters don't have to be afraid to take these leaps. See, 4 or 5 years ago, when we thought about this, when we were trying to get fighters to do it, there was no space for it. Now, thanks to people like Triller and YouTube and these other big conglomerates, the big platforms that have tech money that can afford to invest in different sectors that can outbid these guys, this is problematic going forward, bro. Not only they win Teofimo Lopez, they got a good fight card coming up. Bro, we got Ben Askren and Jake Paul, but more importantly, we got Tarver versus Frank Muir on the undercard, and then we get treated to Regis Prograis against Ivan Redkach. Bro, Triller's on to something here. They have the money to make the right fights. They're listening to the right people. This is going to change boxing. It's going to get before most people realize it.
Nice. Okay. This is interesting. This is supposedly the last day of Black History Month. So churches across the country are performing Lift Every Voice and Sing. They're showing slide presentations. They're wearing dashikis. They're doing all the things that make us corporately black. I know we're not a show that deals with politics but we do deal with common sense. And the fact that we endorse a Black History Month, not to mention that it's February. Don't even worry about the fact that it's February. But the fact that we endorse a Black History Month lets us know just how low we think of each other. Why do I say that? What month did you endorse before you were black? How did you identify with yourselves before you were black? What did you do before you were told you were black? See, you can't scream racism and then adopt the racist ideology. You can't scream segregation and then assimilate. You can't have it both ways. To truly understand yourself, you must understand how you've been transformed and why you were transformed, socially, economically, and mentally. Let's get it together if we're ever going to move forward. All right, bro. So, hey, we want to thank everybody for watching the show. We want to thank Samantha Clark and Audrey Brown for chiming in. We appreciate you all. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Fight Shower Report. We enjoyed doing it. Listen, bro, it's next week is, if you're an MMA fan, next week is one of the pinnacles for you. Pinnacles. We're going to be dealing this week on our less formal show and on the Fighter Share Report on Wednesday with UFC 259. Oh, and shout out to Angela Hill. Her fight got canceled after the weigh-in, but she'll be back on March 13th. So I just want to put out there, shout out to my wife, shout out to my mom, my daughter, my pops, shout out to Miss Darlene, Miss Audrey, shout out to Alex DeGracia, shout out to the Lipinski family. We lost a good friend, a brother, a son, an uncle who went home to be with the Lord this week unexpectedly. So my prayers are with you. You've been a friend since 1987, bro.
Wow. Yeah. Rest up, man. Shout out to Fighter Nation for everybody for rocking with us today on this program. Hopefully we did our best today, man. Make sure y'all catch us tomorrow on our less formal show where we get to just really be who we are. And I get to still look like this, and he gets to look like that. Got nothing to do today, man. Spend a little time on YouTube. Check out Mars. It's great. They got rides. They got all kinds of animals and birds flying around. Just go to YouTube. You can see what Mars really looks like. Hey, Alabama, I'm not going to spite you. Congratulations. Also, Triller, hire us. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Same time or a little earlier.